Hello there, English learners. It is so wonderful to have you back with us for another episode of English Real Talks. This is your dedicated space for exploring daily life English through authentic conversations and easy listening practice that feels natural and helpful.
That's right. This is the place where you can finally stop worrying about those dusty, boring grammar books and start learning how people actually speak in the real world. We are all about real talk here.
I am the professor.
And I'm Jessica.
So, Jessica, tell me, how has your day been so far? Have you been keeping yourself very busy?
Oh, just a little bit busy, I suppose. I spent my morning finishing some reports for work, and then I managed to squeeze in a quick yoga session at the park. I'm feeling quite refreshed now, actually. What about you, Professor?
I'm doing well, though I must admit I am feeling just a tiny bit sluggish. I stayed up far too late last night because I got caught up in a fascinating documentary about ancient civilizations.
Ah, so perhaps you were guilty of wasting a little bit of your sleeping time.
Guilty as charged, maybe just a little, but it was truly an educational experience. However, today my energy is high because we get the chance to connect with our wonderful listeners once again.
I feel exactly the same way. It is always a highlight of my week to sit down in the studio, share these thoughts with you, and help our friends around the world get more comfortable with their English.
It really does feel like we are all gathered together in one big, cozy room, doesn't it?
It does. It's a very warm feeling.
Well, now that our small talk is finished, I think it is time we dive straight into our main topic for today.
Yes, absolutely. Before we start wasting any more of their precious time.
Exactly. Today, we have a subject that is incredibly important for every single person listening. We are talking about why you should not waste your time.
They say that time is life. If we are wasting our minutes and hours, we are essentially wasting small pieces of our lives.
Ouch. When you put it that way, Jessica, it sounds quite serious, doesn't it? But our listeners shouldn't worry. We are going to keep this conversation light, fun, and very easy to follow.
We certainly are. But before we get started with our tips and stories, we want to ask all of you for one very small favor.
Just one. If you find this podcast helpful or enjoyable, please take a second to like this episode and subscribe to the channel. And if you know a friend who is struggling with their English, please share this with them.
Especially that one friend we all have, the one who always sighs and says, "Oh, I just don't have any time to study English." But then you see them spend 2 hours scrolling through funny cat videos on their phone.
We all know that person. And if we're being honest, sometimes that person is actually us.
That is very true. We've all been there. So let's really look at what "don't waste your time" actually means in our daily lives.
Jessica, let me start with a question for you. How would you explain the phrase "waste your time" in very simple words for someone just starting their English journey?
That is a great starting point. To waste time means that you are using your energy and your hours on things that are not important to you and are not helping you reach your goals.
Right. So it isn't just about whether an activity is fun or not fun. It's about whether that activity is actually useful for your growth or your well-being.
Exactly. I like to think about time like a bottle of fresh water.
A bottle of water? Tell me more about that.
Well, imagine you only have one bottle of water for the whole day. If you use that water to drink, you stay healthy. If you use it to wash your face, you feel clean. But if you just pour that water onto the dry dirt on the floor, it's gone. You can't pick it up and drink it later. That is exactly what wasting time is like.
I love that image. Time is like water. If I just pour it on the ground, I can never get it back into the bottle to use it again.
Yes, when you spend your hours on things that don't help you learn a new skill, don't help you become a better person, or don't even give you real, deep rest, then you're just pouring your life's water onto the floor.
And we usually know when we're doing it, don't we? We finish the activity and we have that nagging feeling inside.
Exactly. It's that feeling of regret. You think to yourself, I could have used those 2 hours to finish my book or practice my English speaking. That regret is a very clear signal that you've wasted your time.
I know that feeling well. Like when I tell myself I will just check one quick notification on my phone, and then suddenly 45 minutes have vanished and I can't even remember what I was looking at.
It happens to the best of us. So now that we understand the meaning, let's talk about how we can actually stop this from happening, especially for those of us trying to master English. Maybe I can share a little story about my own struggle with this.
Please do. Stories are always the best way to make these lessons stick in our minds.
So, a few weeks ago, I was sitting at my desk working on a project. My brain was starting to feel very tired, so I told myself, Jessica, you deserve a 10-minute break.
That sounds like a very reasonable and healthy plan.
It was a good plan in theory. I sat down on my comfortable sofa, picked up my phone, and opened a social media app. I saw a funny video of a dog, and I laughed. It was great. But then another video started playing automatically. I thought, well, just one more won't hurt.
Ah, the most dangerous sentence in the English language. Just one more.
It really is. Just one more video turned into 10 more, then 20 more. After a while, I started to feel a bit strange and heavy. I looked at the clock on the wall and realized that 1 hour and 20 minutes had disappeared.
Wow, that was a very long 10-minute break.
It was terrible. And the worst part was that I didn't even feel refreshed. I felt empty, I felt a little bit guilty, and honestly, I felt even more tired than before I sat down.
Yes, that is the feeling of time slipping away like dry sand through your fingers. You try to hold on to it, but it just falls through the gaps.
That's a perfect way to describe it. Sand in my hands. After that day, I made a promise to myself. I decided I needed to be much more intentional with how I spend my minutes.
Intentional is a wonderful word. It means you were doing something on purpose, with a clear reason, rather than just letting things happen to you by accident.
Exactly. And today, the professor and I want to share some very specific tips that helped us regain control. We think they will help you too. Professor, why don't you give us the first tip?
Tip number 1 is to make a tiny plan.
Tiny? You don't mean a big, complicated schedule.
No, definitely not big, just tiny. Think of your plan like the GPS navigation system in your car.
I like that analogy. Tell me how a GPS relates to English learning.
Well, if you get into your car but you don't type an address into the GPS, the car can technically go anywhere. You might drive in circles for hours, you waste your expensive petrol, and you waste your afternoon. You're moving, but you aren't actually going anywhere.
Right. You are just driving and driving with no destination in mind.
But when you take 10 seconds to put in one simple address, the GPS can tell you exactly what to do. It says, turn right here, or go straight for 2 miles, and eventually you arrive at your destination.
So making a tiny plan is like giving your day a specific address.
Exactly. So many English learners say things like, today I am going to improve my English. But that goal is much too big. It's too vague.
Vague is another good word for our listeners. It means something is not clear or specific.
Right, it's not clear. So instead of a vague goal, you make a tiny, clear plan. You say, today I will learn exactly 3 new words, or today I will listen to 10 minutes of a podcast, or today I will read just 1 page of a simple story.
That feels so much lighter and more manageable. I actually have a personal example of how this worked for me.
Oh, please share it with us. Years ago, when I first started learning a second language, I was very ambitious. I told myself, I will study for 1 hour every single day without fail. But it was too much for my busy life. I would get home tired, look at the clock, and feel overwhelmed. Eventually, I started skipping days, and then I felt like a failure.
I think almost everyone listening can relate to that feeling.
It was discouraging. So I changed my strategy. I made a tiny plan. I said every day I will do just 10 minutes. That is my only promise. Some days, if I felt good, I would do 30 or 40 minutes. But my only requirement for success were those 10 minutes.
And did that change things for you?
It changed everything. Because the goal was so small, I wasn't afraid to start. I could always find 10 minutes, and every single time I finished, I felt a sense of pride instead of guilt.
So the lesson is that a tiny plan acts like that clear address in your GPS. You don't spend your energy wondering what to do, you just do the small task you promised.
Exactly. When you remove the confusion, you waste far less time. That is a very powerful first tip. Professor, what is the second tip on our list? Tip number 2 is something I call using your pocket time.
Pocket time. That sounds interesting. What does that mean?
Think of your daily time like a handful of coins.
Okay, I'm picturing the coins.
Throughout your day, you might have a few big coins. These are blocks of time, like 1 hour of free time in the evening. But most of your day is actually made up of small coins. These are the 5 minutes you spend waiting for the kettle to boil, the 7 minutes you spend on the bus, or the 3 minutes you spend waiting in line at the grocery store.
Ah, I see. It's the little gaps between our main activities.
Exactly. And most people just throw these small coins in the trash. They pull out their phones and they scroll, scroll, scroll without any thought.
I am definitely guilty of that sometimes. It feels like those few minutes don't really count for anything.
But they do. If you collect all those small coins throughout the day, by the time you go to bed, you realize you actually had enough to buy something big, like 30 minutes of English practice.
That is such a beautiful way to look at it. Small coins adding up to a big treasure.
For example, you can review those 3 new words while you wait for your coffee to be made. You can listen to 5 minutes of an English podcast while you are folding your laundry. You can read 5 lines of a news article while you wait for the bus.
That feels very realistic for a busy person. I actually have a friend who used this exact method to reach a high level of English.
Really? Tell us about her.
She's a mother of 2 young children, and she has a very demanding full-time job. She used to tell me, "Jassica, I literally never have a full hour to sit down with a textbook. It's impossible."
Many of our listeners probably feel the exact same way.
But she decided to use her pocket time. She would listen to English while walking from her car to her office. That was 5 minutes. She would read a few sentences during her lunch break. That was 10 minutes. She would listen to a story for 7 minutes before she fell asleep. After just a few months, she realized she was understanding almost everything she heard.
So those little coins really did turn into a big treasure for her.
They really did. So if you don't want to waste your life waiting for the perfect time to study, start using your pocket time today. Even 3 or 5 minutes is incredibly useful.
I want our listeners to pause for a second and think, where is my pocket time? Is it in the morning while the toast is toasting? Is it in the afternoon while the computer is restarting?
That's a great question to ask. Now, Professor, what about the third tip?
Tip number 3 is very dear to my heart. Make English fun.
I agree completely. Because if something feels like a punishment or a chore, your brain will naturally try to find ways to avoid it.
Exactly. Think about a small child. If every time that child tries to play a game, someone stands over them and shouts, "Do it perfectly, don't make a single mistake," what will happen?
The child will eventually give up. They will stop wanting to play altogether.
Learning a language is the same. Your brain does not perform well under constant stress and pressure. If English always feels like a heavy, serious burden, your brain will eventually say, "No, thank you. Let's go do something else."
So how can we change that? How do we turn it into a game instead of a punishment?
The secret is to connect English to the things you already love doing in your own language.
I have an example of that. I absolutely love music. When I was younger and trying to improve my vocabulary, I found one song that I really liked.
I printed out the lyrics, the words of the song, and I listened to it over and over again. I would circle the words I didn't know and look them up. I would sing along in the shower and try to mimic the singer's accent perfectly. It didn't feel like studying, it felt like a hobby.
That is a wonderful story. You were learning, but you were also enjoying yourself.
What about you, Professor? Do you have a way to make it fun?
I love stories and dramas. I remember watching a short series in English. At the beginning, I used subtitles in my own language so I wouldn't get lost. Then, after a few episodes, I switched to English subtitles. Eventually, I realized I could understand many of the lines without reading at all. It felt like a series of small victories.
Small victories. I love that phrase.
Fun is vital because it helps you stay consistent. When you're having fun, you don't feel like you're wasting time. You feel like you are living your life through English.
Exactly. If you are watching a movie you enjoy in English, you aren't just watching TV, you're growing your brain.
So, tip number 3, don't just push yourself. Play with the language. Use songs, use movies, use funny YouTube videos. Use them wisely and they become powerful tools.
Now, I think we have to address something a bit more difficult. We need to talk about the dangerous object that most of us have in our hands right now.
Ah, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Tip number 4, watch out for the time thieves.
Time thieves. That is a very strong and descriptive phrase.
It really is. A time thief is something that steals your minutes and hours without giving you anything valuable in return. For the vast majority of people today, that thief is social media.
Social media can be a wonderful tool for connection, of course. But if we aren't careful, it takes and it takes and it never stops taking.
I remember one evening vividly. I sat down on my bed just to check one quick message from a friend, but then I saw a funny video, so I clicked it. Then I saw a short news clip. Then I got distracted by a long argument in the comments section. By the time I put the phone down, my brain felt full of noise, but I hadn't actually learned or achieved anything.
That is such a common experience in our modern world.
And the worst part was how I felt afterward. I felt drained, a little bit sad, and like I had lost a part of my evening I could never get back.
So, how do we protect ourselves? How do we stop these thieves from entering our home?
One of the simplest ways is to create small, firm rules for yourself. For example, when I decide to spend 10 minutes on my English plan, my phone goes into a different room entirely. Or I tell myself I'm only allowed to check social media as a reward after I finish my daily English goal.
That's excellent advice.
It's like locking your front door when you know there's a thief in the neighborhood. You don't have to hate the thief, but you have a responsibility to protect your home.
That's a very strong image. Protecting your focus.
When you protect your focus, you can actually get much more done in less time. That means you're saving time instead of wasting it, and ultimately, you feel much more in control of your own destiny.
Now, Jessica, I have a question that I think many of our listeners might be wondering about. When we say, don't waste your time, does that mean we must be working or studying every single minute of every single day?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm so glad you asked. This is perhaps the most important point of all. Rest is not wasting time.
I am very relieved to hear you say that.
Think about your mind and your body like the battery in your mobile phone.
That's an easy image for everyone to understand.
If you use your phone for 16 hours straight and you never plug it into the charger, what happens?
The screen goes black. It dies. It stops being useful.
We're exactly the same. If we work and we study and we stress and we never allow ourselves to stop, our internal battery drops to zero. We become burned out.
Yes, and when you're burned out, you can't learn anything.
Exactly. Getting good sleep, having quiet time to think, or just sitting and doing nothing for a few minutes are all ways of charging your battery. Do you have an example of when rest helped you, Professor?
I certainly do. I remember once I was trying to finish a very difficult writing project. It was late at night and I was exhausted, but I kept pushing myself to stay awake. I spent 2 hours struggling over one paragraph, and it still wasn't very good.
I know that struggle so well.
The next morning, after I had a good night's sleep, I sat down with a fresh cup of tea. I looked at that same paragraph and I rewrote it in just 15 minutes. It was much better than the version I had spent 2 hours on the night before.
That is the perfect proof.
So, in that case, pushing myself was actually the waste of time. Resting was the smarter, more productive choice. It prepared me to use my time much better the next day.
So the real secret to not wasting time is finding a healthy balance.
Precisely. A balance between focused study, productive work, genuine fun, and deep rest. You need a little bit of each to lead a happy life.
That is a very peaceful and encouraging thought to hold on to.
Now, Jessica, we have used some slightly more advanced words in our conversation today.
We have. Perhaps we should slow down for a moment and go on a little word tour for our listeners before we wrap up.
That's a great idea. Let's look at some of these key terms that will help everyone take control of their time.
The first word we used was intentional.
Right. Remember, being intentional means doing something on purpose with a clear plan. It is the opposite of doing things by accident. For example, I am being intentional with my morning. I choose to listen to English instead of scrolling through news.
Then we mentioned the word vague.
Vague means that something is not clear or specific. Saying, I want to be good at English is a vague goal. But saying, I want to be able to order a coffee in English is a clear goal.
We also talked about pocket time.
Even though you won't find pocket time in a traditional dictionary, it's a great way to describe those small 5-minute gaps in your day. You can say, I always use my pocket time to practice my English pronunciation.
And we used the word distracted.
Distracted is when you cannot focus because your attention is being pulled away by other things. For example, I find it hard to study when the television is on because I get too distracted.
Then there was my favorite, time thief.
A time thief is anything that steals your time without giving you any benefit. You might say, I realized that checking my emails every 5 minutes was a major time thief for me.
We also talked about the verb to invest.
To invest means to put in your time, your energy, or your money now because you know it will give you a better result in the future. By listening to this podcast, you are not wasting time, you are investing your time in your future self.
That's a very positive way to look at it. We also mentioned a routine.
Your routine is the regular, normal order of things you do every day. A good routine helps you avoid wasting time. For example, my evening routine is to drink herbal tea and read 2 pages of an English book.
And finally, that beautiful word, balance.
Balance is when different parts of your life are in a good, healthy proportion. Not too much work and not too much play. A balanced life is a successful life.
If you didn't catch every single one of those words the first time, please don't worry. You can always go back and listen to this word tour again. It's a great way to practice.
And here is a small challenge for you. Choose just one of these words, maybe intentional or time thief, and try to make your own sentence in your head.
Or if you are feeling brave, come over to the comments section and write your sentence there.
Doing that is like taking your English brain to a friendly, welcoming gym where we're all working out together.
I love the idea of a friendly English gym.
So, for someone listening right now who is thinking, okay, I'm ready to stop wasting time, but I don't know where to start, what simple steps can we give them?
Let's break it down into 4 easy steps.
I'm ready. Step 1.
Step 1. Choose one tiny English goal for today. Just one. For example, I will remember the meaning of the word vague from this episode.
Excellent. And step 2?
Step 2. Decide exactly when you are going to do it. Will it be during your pocket time on the way to work or during your lunch break?
Step 3.
Step 3. Make it a little bit fun. Maybe try to use that new word in a funny sentence or tell a family member what you learned.
And finally, step 4.
Step 4 is very important. After you finish your tiny plan, say something kind to yourself.
Like what?
Tell yourself, Well done, I kept my promise today. Or, I am proud of myself for spending 5 minutes on my English.
That small moment of kindness can actually change how your brain feels about learning. It makes you want to do it again tomorrow.
Exactly. You stop being a harsh critic and you start being your own supportive coach.
I love that. Be your own coach.
Well, before we finish, let's do a very quick recap of our 5 main tips from today.
Number 1, make a tiny plan. Give your day a specific address so you don't drive in circles.
Number 2, use your pocket time. Collect those small coins of time to build a big treasure of knowledge.
Number 3, make English fun. Connect your learning to things you love so it never feels like a punishment.
Number 4, watch out for time thieves. Protect your focus from things like mindless scrolling.
And number 5, remember that rest is not wasting time. You must charge your battery to stay strong.
That is a wonderful summary, Professor.
Thank you, Jessica. And we really want to say this to every single person listening. Your time is incredibly valuable. You do not need to be a perfect student. You just need to try and use your time a little bit better today than you did yesterday.
Yes, even 10 minutes of good, focused English every day can completely transform your skills over a few months.
We truly believe in you, and we know you can do it.
Now it's your turn to talk to us. We have a question for you. What is one thing in your life that you recognize as a time thief? And what is one small change you are going to make today after listening to this conversation?
Please share your ideas in the comments. Reading your ideas often helps other learners who might be struggling with the same things.
And if this conversation helped you today, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it. By spending this time with us at English Real Talks, you have not wasted a single second. You have invested in yourself.
We are so proud of the work you are doing.
This has been English Real Talks with the Professor and Jessica.
Until next time, use your time wisely, stay positive, and be very kind to yourself.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Take care of yourselves. Your progress does not have to end here. To keep building your English skills and your confidence, click on the next video or explore the other episodes we have carefully selected for you right here on the screen. See you in the next one.